It's official. Not that it hasn't been official for a while, but we just got confirmation. Hey, welcome to Summers Pro. We talk based mostly Chrome OS and Android here. If you like this kind of content, I would appreciate you liking the video and perhaps subscribing so you can stick around to see more. Thank you. So we've been talking for, I don't know, about a year or so about Chrome OS and Android basically merging. And the language that Google has said was confusing. First, it was like, we're going to take the Android kernel and put in Chrome OS. And it was like Android stacks. And some, even I think I reported that Android is replacing Chrome OS, which Chrome OS fans, we don't want that. But a lot of this was rumored. They put out a blog post back in 2024. And recently, if you see some videos where everybody's talking about the merger again, it's because the Android CEO, Lisa Samir, I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, but he was doing an interview with, I believe, TechRadar, and what they were talking about was not Chrome OS tablets or anything, and it was just offshoot comment. He noticed that the interviewer had a Mac, and he said, "Hey, you want to know more about the Mac?" I think the interview was worried that I brought a whole bunch of Apple products or to Google's sacred ground. But he asked because he said straight up, well, we are merging Chrome OS and Android, and he wanted to know how people use their laptops. The confirmation that we all supposed needed, called it a merger. Now, there's still some things we don't know. Like I said, the last video I put out showed the Android desktop mode that is in the 16 beta. While that's going, the Android desktop mode is basically similar to Samsung's DeX. Samsung DeX has been around for years, and the desktop experience is going to be native to Android. Right now, you have to enable the betas to get this desktop mode, but essentially it's pretty simple. You connect this to an external display, and you are faced with not just a mirroring of your Android screen onto the external display. Now you have a true desktop interface. And while I'm hopeful for this experimental thing that they're doing, it even has Linux support, not that far along, but it does have a terminal, which made me hopeful about the future. However, it is subpar when compared to Chrome OS. Now, I believe Google's going to do everything that they can to keep what we know looking how we know and feel, because their biggest clients are enterprise users as well as education. And if they change the UI too much or lose a ton of features that right now Android simply does not have, we want Chrome OS to gain features, not lose features, not lose status. But we've got the confirmation that there is a merger. It is happening. I don't believe it's going to be soon. I'd be surprised if we hear anything else this year, but there's interest. I'm skeptically optimistic because one of the key benefits of having Android into the center of the foundation of Chrome OS, or whatever they're going to call it, they might say Chrome OS on the outside, but be just Android on the inside, is that Android apps will run natively. Right now, they run fine, but there are certain apps that you can tell the experience is grafted on. It's like gaming on cloud service, even though that's gotten really good now, versus you natively. Sometimes you can feel a difference when something is not natively running on your machine. So these Android apps will run natively, gain more support, and lately they have made screen expansion mandatory to developers somewhat. While overall I believe this will be a good move or feature, we have much to see if how Google is going to manage this landing. If they can pull this off, this would be a great turning point for Chromebooks, Android books, whatever they call this. Of course, you'll get better phone integration, quicker turnarounds, technology they want to implement, most notably AI for the moment. And going back to the comment when he asked the interviewer how people use their laptops, I'm glad that he said that because, for one, I like that he compared it to a MacBook and not just the iPad, because a lot of reports are saying that they are trying to compete with the iPad. And I get sales wise, the iPad probably does better. I don't know how much better or not, but I think from desktop wise, it is far beyond iPad. And I have an iPad. I like my iPad, but from actually doing good tasks, from actually doing work tasks, doesn't compare. And the apps that I can run so many more as professional apps on my Chromebook than I can on an iPad is what it is. But I like that he is still looking for ways of maybe improving the experience. Maybe there's some weaknesses that I can clear up the next generation of Chrome OS. All right, so that's going to do it for today's video. Tell me what you guys think. Is this going to be a good thing, or does this not really move the needle at all?